I thought I had a perfect marriage. Until the police knocked on my door, they told me my husband wasn't just cheating on me. He was using my identity to commit serious crimes, bank accounts, fake companies, millions of dollars, all in my name. On paper, I was the criminal, and I had no idea I was married to a stranger. That night, I had one choice. Everyone said I had a spontaneous life. Michael, who'd known me by my glasses since I was 5, would talk about my wife as if she were talking about business efficiency. We weren't just a couple. We were a status symbol. When the neighbors talked about us, they'd say, "Yes, I wish I were like them." We've been married for 9 years, and I never thought I'd ever be a cheater, not even for a single day. But the last beautiful morning before I found out started on a Wednesday when I wasn't working. I sent Michael off to work, and there was a normal silence when the door closed. After work, he called, as he always did. "I love you, sweetie. Don't forget lunch." I smiled silently. His voice was always soft, confident, and at that moment, it sounded like the most innocent voice in the world. As I went down to the kitchen for coffee, my phone vibrated. An unknown number. I answered. "Hello, Mrs. Richardson?" A woman's voice. "Yes, I'm Richardson." She took a deep breath. "Could you spare some time to speak with me in person? I'm afraid this isn't something to discuss over the phone." Her name was Veronica, and 60 minutes later, she was at my door. Cream-colored shoes, a light blue jacket, her hair perfectly pulled back. But her eyes spoke volumes. Her eyes expressed everything. Red, wet, desperate eye. "You don't know me," she said at the doorway, "but my name is Veronica Sullivan, and I've known Michael for 9 months, romantically." It felt like a heavy door had crashed down on me, but I controlled myself because life teaches lessons. Shock develops because bad things don't come gradually, they come suddenly. "Would you like to come in?" I asked, keeping my voice calm. As we sat in my living room, Veronica pulled out a tablet, photos, Michael and a woman together at a hotel reception, smiling. Michael and the same woman holding hands in a restaurant across from another reception. This time, a woman Michael is embracing in a very noticeable way. Veronica said regretfully, "He told me I love you. He told me we would get married. We even talked about having children after marriage." Questions formed in my mind, and then they formed again. But the first question was simple. "Why are you here?" "Because," Veronica said, "I saw a message on Michael's phone last week. Worried about my wife. I won't be able to see you. I need to hide, and I just wanted to know. I wanted to know the truth about a man who's living through this with you, sleeping in your bed at night." A shiver ran through my entire body. I tried to control it, but Veronica saw it. "We were both deceived," he said, "but at least I can ease my conscience by talking to you, by warning you." After he left, I couldn't move for a long time, sitting in my living room. Every sound, every movement, every word Michael had said started playing again in my head. Yes, there had been changes in the past 9 months, but when had he explained them? Frequent business trips, nighttime meetings, last-minute visits. My phone rang. It was Michael. "Darling, the company is sending me to Denver. I'll have to endure the commute next week. It's going to be so boring. I'll miss you so much." A strong subconscious doubt crossed my mind. I tried to hide it, but I couldn't. "Michael, I love you. But is today the day you need to tell me something?" There was a pause on the phone. A long pause. A very long one. "No, sweetie, everything's fine. Absolutely fine. Why are you asking?" The lie was staring me in the face, but it couldn't get past it. "I just missed you." After hanging up the phone, I turned on my computer and started searching. I'd known Michael's email password for a long time. It had become such a natural part of living together that it might have been a mistake, but I knew it. I opened it, and there it was, a photo of Veronica showering and reading a book. Michael's note. I kept my head in turmoil. "I want you, but I can't." But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was another email, not from Veronica, but from Amanda. Amanda wrote, "This took 5 months. What has this been for me? You're going back home. What's left for me? A forgotten side story? 5 months. Veronica was 9 months. Amanda was 5 months. How many more were there? I couldn't turn off the computer. I'm searching through emails. New York, Chicago, Seattle, cities, regions, conferences, adjusted vacations. Underneath each one, there was a story and a poll for each. The phone vibrated. This time, it wasn't an unknown number, but the caller asked, Mrs. Richardson? This is Agent Walsh. Police, we need to speak with your husband. For the first time, I was truly shocked. The police? Why? One of my agents will be at your door shortly to explain our work. I must tell you that you have been falsely accused by an accomplice who had no knowledge of the matter. But there are a few things we need to clarify. Agent Carter appeared at my door at 2 o'clock. He showed me his ID card. It looked real. Your husband, he said, as he walked into the living room and sat down, is involved in money laundering. These words echoed in my head. Money laundering. Someone working at an accounting firm, providing clean money for certain people. Didn't he ever tell you? Agent Carter asked. No, I replied. He just didn't tell me about other women. Was he guilty? Yes, he said, and using your identity for loans, even for fake holding companies. Then came the worst part. We've been watching him for a long time, but his phone number has changed. He has a new partner, someone more dangerous. And you have to help me. For over 3 hours, I held everything in my hands, filled with curiosity and fear. Agent Carter told me about every move Michael made, every phase he went through, every lie he told. No doctor's appointments, no conferences, another life. When evening came, Michael arrived home. He wanted to hug me. Something had changed inside him. I know because I could feel how my own voice had changed. Hi, sweetie. How was your day? She said. Great. I lied. Veronica. I didn't say. Sullivan came to my door and this and that happened. Instead, I said, we just logged in at home. I missed you so much. That night, when Michael woke up, I was lying beside him, watching him, seeing all his falseness. What if we had children? Who would tell them that their father could go to jail if he got caught? That their father could have another family? But here, at the end of this episode, I remembered what Agent Carter said. If you don't cooperate, I can't help you. Everything continued to seem ordinary at first glance. Days passed in the same routine, but the explanation for some behaviors remained unclear. People might choose to ignore these uncertainties, secure in the comfort of habit. However, the unease felt deep down doesn't disappear with time. On the contrary, it silently grows, becoming more and more pronounced. Initially seemingly minor inconsistencies gradually take on meaning as a whole. At this point, one begins to wonder why they didn't question things in the past. The answers are often trapped between fear and habit, because accepting the truth means risking disrupting the existing order. Therefore, some signs are consciously ignored. Agent Carter's words kept swirling in my head all night. If you don't cooperate, I can't help you. What did that mean? If Michael was arrested, would I be charged too? Would I face trial for using my identity? Or worse, if there was a more dangerous partner Agent Carter mentioned, I could prevent Michael from going to jail. And what would that mean for me? When I opened my eyes at 5:30 in the morning, lying next to Michael, my first thought was escape. I didn't recognize this man anymore. Perhaps I never had. Had all 9 years been a deception? The marriage proposal, the wedding, this house. All the plans, had it all been a game, a sham? My phone was on silent vibrate mode. A message from Agent Carter. Meet at the cafe at 8:30 a.m. somewhere nobody knows. Just you come. Michael's lips away from my cheek and carefully got out of bed. I showered, got dressed, put on makeup. I was supposed to act like a normal day, a normal wife, but inside, I was burning with desire. I had to wait 3 hours before going to the coffee shop. I did my morning routine. I woke Michael up. You woke up early today, he said, lying down. Is everything all right? Yes, I lied, having started using the word so often that I couldn't distinguish between the two anymore. It's just a beautiful morning. I want to go for a walk. Before going to the coffee shop, I called Veronica. I still had her number in my pocket, written on a piece of paper. She answered. Hi, she said, a hint of surprise in her voice. It's me, I said. Tell me a place where I can see you. We met in a small park. Veronica seemed calmer now, but still broken. She was a woman who had searched for hope in Michael's eyes and found none. I, on the other hand, was a woman who had searched for truth in Michael's lies and found none. Why is he here? He asked. Because I need to know more about what was done to you. Where did it start and where did it end? What day did it begin? What did they use to deceive you? Veronica sat down and began to speak. Detailed, painful, and clear. Michael had met her at a conference. He'd fallen for her. The things he'd said, all of this, that when we grew up, we'd be old. Who would have the children where we go? But then Michael's plans changed. Travel became more frequent, calls less frequent, messages shorter. I don't know anymore if he ever loved me, Veronica said. Did he treat me like a project? An option? A backup plan? Then I called Amanda. Yes, I had her number because Agent Carter had given it to me beforehand. I found 4 more women, Lauren, Jessica, Nicole, and Sophia. All 5 were women Michael had met at private accounting conferences, on out-of-town trips, become infatuated with, and then forgotten about. 5 women, 5 parallel lives in 9 years. At 8:30, I found Agent Carter at his cafe. He was in a corner at the back of the cafe, out of sight. I'll explain the situation, he said, without any introduction. Your husband isn't just cheating on your home, you and your family. He's a money launderer for a criminal organization run by a man named Konstantin Volkov. Konstantin Volkov. The name sounds too heavy. Volkov, Agent Carter continued, is a criminal involved in very serious crimes. Michael is the one who cleans up the sticky trail of money that he can't erase through accounts that appear open at the accounting firm, law offices, real estate investments. Nobody questions it. Why? Because your name, your identity is on the papers. He showed me a hidden phone, apparently a duplicate of Michael's phone. There were messages on it. Hitman was waiting for money. Shipment Friday. Client is coming. Financial scan passed. Accounts appeared clean. This was the language of crime. This was a language that had no place in my life. Why are you showing me this? I asked, my voice trembling. Because, said Agent Carter, the person using you, the person who knows how to use you in his work, is experienced. If we arrest him and he doesn't cooperate as a witness, we have a problem. But you can put pressure on him. Soft, effective pressure. In a home environment. If we had children and I told them about you, I began. No, said Agent Carter. I know, that's the problem. But Rebecca, I was surprised he said my name. He said the name from a few pages earlier. We needed to protect you. All the information on Michael's computer. Every file in his office. Bank records. It all contains what we need to shut down Volkov's operation. Michael wouldn't do that. I said. He wouldn't cooperate, even under threat. Perhaps, said Agent Carter. He placed a box on the table. But you can. And there's a way to explain it. Inside the box was a small device along with written instructions. It was designed to plug into a computer, copy all the directory files, transcribe the entire email, save it, and print everything out. Do I see you as a traitor? I asked. No, said Agent Carter. You see yourself as someone who will save you. When I got home, Michael was still working in the office. It would be easy since they didn't have children. No screaming, no rebellion, just him and me with the task at hand. The device was in my pocket. That morning, as I looked at Michael's computer, which he'd left open, thoughts raced through my mind. Could I do this? Could I possibly plant a hacking device on this man's, my husband's computer? Yes, I could. Because she deserved it. Because she deceived me. Because 5 women, several years, millions of dollars in illicit money, all of it done in my name with my signature. I plugged the device into the USB port. It turned red as expected. 15 minutes. Good. Michael was in his study, listening to the email with his ear open. As Agent Carter had instructed, I printed it out. And as the red light turned green, I removed the device and it disappeared. As the truth gradually becomes clear, the initial shock turns into deep disappointment. The resulting picture brings not only material but also emotional devastation. Trust is shaken and many memories of the past are reevaluated. Although this process is tiring and exhausting, it is also instructive, and one begins to redefine the boundaries in their own life. Hours later, Michael came home as usual. As usual, he tried to show me affection. As usual, there was something in his demeanor, but I was starting to notice something mechanical, a performance. I love you, he said. I know, I replied. But which me do you love? A chilling silence fell. What do you mean? He asked. Nothing, just today is just a day like any other day. A wonderful day. I called a band Carter. I handed over the device when he left my house. And another agent picked me up in a police car and took me to the station. I said nothing. I couldn't do anything. In an isolated room, I saw reports. All of Michael's messages, all of Volkov's instructions, millions over the years. And in all the flowcharts of this money, in every account, every company my name. Didn't you know that? Asked Agent Carter. No, I replied. No, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. The next day, Michael was arrested. He was caught in the meeting room at the accounting firm. The house was cleared out after the police arrived. Agent Carter gave me a file. Witness protection program. Change of identity. New place. New life. Do you want to start over? He asked. Are there any options? I asked. No, he said plainly. There are no options. Life is over. Now it's time to rebuild. 3 months later, I'm living in a town in Arizona as Helena Marshall. Another home, another life, another me. But when I get into bed at night, I still feel Michael's arms. I still hear the echo of his "I love you." I still see Veronica's, Amanda's, Lauren's faces. A shiver runs down my body when the doorbell rings. Who could it be? Michael returning after serving his sentence? Volkov's men coming to get rid of me? Or just the pizza delivery guy? I'm never sure. In this new life of mine, being sure is impossible. But I know one thing, what's happening to me isn't about me. These are Michael's choices. These are the choices of the man who deceived me. And this time, I've found liberation, not a victim of my life. A letter arrived yesterday. No return address. Just text from Michael. Did you know about what was done to me? I want you to know that here, in 15 years, I will never forget you. I loved you. I still love you. I burned the letter. In the garden, behind the house, in the fire. I watched the smoke and my past vanish like a flame. Something new had begun. My life, only mine. When the doorbell rang, I thought, I'm Helena Marshall. I'm free, and I'm never coming back. As time goes on, it becomes clearer that some things are not coincidental. Small details in daily life, when examined closely, carry a different meaning. At first, people are reluctant to accept this meaning because accepting it means shaking a long-held belief. This shaking brings with it an internal conflict. This process of oscillating between doubt and denial is quite mentally draining. On one hand, there are the reassuring memories of the past, and on the other, the signs of the present. It's difficult for a person to bear these two feelings simultaneously. Therefore, some questions are postponed, and some conversations are never held. But everything that is postponed returns later with a heavier burden. My new name is Helena Marshall, but I could never completely forget the Rebecca inside me. When I was placed in Arizona by Agent Carter, I thought maybe I could make it. A new social security number, a new past, a new life. All fake, all protected. But the past, even under protection, managed to come back. 8 months after starting over, I opened a small coaching company. I became a fitness coach, a strange choice perhaps. But Agent Carter had recommended it to me. Be someone people want to see. He said, healthy, strong, clean background. No one questions it. The town in Arizona was about a quarter the size of Portland. Everyone knew everyone. One of my first customers was a woman in her 40s named Rachel. Divorced, to children, she wanted to lose a few pounds. A normal life, a normal person. While we were together, I listened Rachel talking about it. About her ex-husband, how he cheated on her, how he lied, how he revealed her secrets. Once you've been that disappointed, Rachel said, while running on the treadmill, you can never fully trust anyone again. It had common ground with my situation, but I didn't speak. I never could. My story, as Agent Carter said, had to remain a secret forever. 3 months later, a new person was added to the client list, a man. His name was James, tall, dark-haired, trustworthy looking. He resembled Michael somewhat, but I didn't pretend to notice because there was nothing I could do. Michael had already served 15 years in prison. Volkov's organization had been punished in caravans, and here I was, living on. James didn't speak at all during the first session. He just did the exercises. But in the second session, he said, I'm going through a tough time. My marriage is over. My wife left me for no very good reason. When I heard that, something inside me trembled. Maybe there wasn't such a bad reason, or maybe there was, but men could see it a billion times over from their own perspective. Because I was upset, I said professionally, exercise is often a good way to cope with bad feelings. James told me more and more each week. His wife's name was Caroline. He loved her very much, or so he thought. But then one day, a hand-sealed file surfaced. A police investigation, police arrests. My wife, James said, when he finished the whole story, preferred that I betray her so that she could benefit from me as an accomplice. And I may have deserved it, but even I didn't know who I was then. I stood by his arm. His eyes weren't working, so I lifted his glasses. Do you regret it? I asked. Every day, James said. Every day I regret it. But what can I do? The past is the past. I called Agent Carter from my hidden cell phone. Even his wife had the exact same number saved in her memory. What do you know about James Donnelly? I asked. Nothing, he said. Why would he ask? Because he's one of my coaches. A pause. Then, Rebecca, are you worried about Donnelly? No, I lied. I was just curious. But it was more than just curiosity. Perhaps it was something about a guilty conscience. Perhaps it was because I saw my own story in James's story, deceived, offered, chosen, but I had never been like that. I wanted to be the one who neither protected the guilty nor handed them over. When the moment of confronting reality arrives, time seems to slow down. The resulting picture changes not only what happened, but also plans for the future. At this point, one must focus not on what has been lost, but on what can be controlled. This awareness creates a difficult but transformative effect. And it is precisely at this stage that life begins to reshape itself. A month later, James invited me out for coffee. Outside of work, outside of coaching. I just want to talk, he said. Someone else needs to listen to how I feel. I accepted. It was a bad decision, but I accepted it anyway. When we were sitting in the cafe, James wasn't actually James Donnelly. He was someone else in the witness protection program. Are you curious? He asked. Yes, I said. Yes, I am curious. Because, said James, or whatever his real name was, I'm worried about you too. I know you're with my wife, about other people in witness protection program. And you feel different to me somehow. In the library, in the market, in the coaching studio. It's like you're hiding from me. I'm not hiding, I said. I'm just living. Yes, he said. I know it's the same thing. Then he gave me a mailing address. Oh, it was sealed. If you ever want to talk, not just as me, but as the real me, he said, right here. My real name is Michael. My heart started racing. Even his name was Michael. I told myself I wouldn't write the email. But 2 weeks later, at a M, I wrote, I'm not Rebecca anymore. I began. I'm Helena. But inside, Rebecca is still questioning herself. How do you cope? Michael answered quickly. Day by day. I'm alive. Every morning I wake up and see today as a reason to stay on my feet. I worry about tomorrow because I don't know what tomorrow will bring. But for today I'm fine. Today I'm here. Our correspondence continued through the internet, via secret mail, undetected by anyone. Michael began to describe what his wife had done to him. Caroline, who didn't accuse him, didn't put him under protection, but rather provided him with secret devices, files, everything. Michael refused to help her. To her, it was betrayal, Michael said. To me, it was courage. Am I betraying anyone? I asked in a letter. What are you betraying? He retorted. To my life under protection. To Agent Carter. To the system. Perhaps, said Michael, but perhaps you're just trying to find a person not defined by someone else. Not protected, not lying. 5 months later, Michael wanted to meet me. For real. We can escape. He wrote in the letter. I know it. We can go off plan. We can start together. We'll infiltrate. I could have told Agent Carter. Maybe I should have. But there was a conflict between Michael's words and my desires. Despite bearing his ex-husband's name, he was a different person. He wasn't James. What he did or didn't do to Caroline was separating him from me. We met outside of Arizona, near Arizona, in a motel room, with their real names, with their real faces, as real people. What is this now? Michael asked, looking out the window. Life or punishment? Both, I said, at the same time. I want to escape, she said, with you, all of us, far, far away from here. But we couldn't escape, because escaping meant ceasing to be ourselves. And I at least wanted to be myself, perhaps even with a new name, but I wanted to be myself. We can't, I said. Why? Michael asked. Because people get lost and are never found. They die in loss, in pain. And I, Michael, am troubled enough by pain. Enough loss, enough death. Michael cried. Perhaps for the first time, he truly cried. So what are we going to do? He asked. We'll continue, I said, separately. But knowing that we know each other. Knowing that there's someone who understands us. When I walked out of the motel room, I felt old. I didn't just feel old. I felt old. Really old. forever old, so old that it would never go back. I didn't tell Agent Carter about Michael. I never did, because perhaps saying nothing was true freedom, living under the system, not breaking the rules I was given, keeping a secret space for myself, a place that didn't belong to anyone. 6 months later, Michael escaped. I noticed because the letters stopped. Did you know Agent Carter didn't tell me anything? He said nothing. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he knew but didn't care. Because Rebecca or Helena, was no longer a threat. I had become just someone who lived within the system, fed the system, supported the system. A year later, I received news that Michael, who had clashed with someone in Colorado, had been found dead. Whether it was suicide or an accident, no one knew. According to Agent Carter, perhaps this was the only way he had found to escape. I couldn't attend his funeral. I wasn't allowed to. Even the dead are protected under the Witness Protection Program. Today, all 5 years later, Helena Marshall, successful trainer. My clients know nothing about me. Yes, I'm 41 years old. Yes, I love training. Yes, I've never been married. I've never had children. I've never fully trusted anyone to their face. Rachel, one of my first clients, still works with me. You have a wonderful life, she said one day while we were running on the treadmill. For a girl, independent, centered in your own work, not dependent on anyone. You are free. Yes, I said, I am free. But freedom felt like fishing, transparent and cold, and always seems about to slip away. You can never quite get a grip on it. Shiver down my spine when the doorbell rings. Is it a package, a visitor, or Agent Carter? I'm still worried. Because living under protection means living under constant threat. Maybe invisible, maybe silent, but it's always there. Michael's letters, not in the trash, not in the burner, in a secret container inside my house. Maybe this is betrayal. Maybe this is the only piece of freedom. Something that belongs to me. Something no one knows about. Something no one controls. Agent Carter contacted me again. The situation has changed, he said over the phone. Volkov is dead, in prison, in a gang conflict. He's no longer a threat. Perhaps you'd like to leave the program now. It was too late. I had gotten used to living under the new name. I let Rebecca die. She really did die. Like Michael, but in another form. No, I said to Agent Carter, I'll stay. I'll stay here. Are you sure? He asked. Yes, I said. Oh, maybe. Maybe I'm still uncertain, and maybe that's a good thing. Uncertainty is another kind of freedom. When evening came, I closed the coaching studio. My hours had been long. The clients were tired. I was tired too. When I opened the door to my house, I took out the letters from Michael and read them again. I love you, one of them read. Perhaps after my death, perhaps beyond, but this is true. I loved you, Helena, Rebecca, all versions of you, all of your versions of me. With tears in my eyes, I closed the letters. Tonight, perhaps for no choice, I will cry for the words of a dead man, for a dead life, for a dead me. Tomorrow, Helena Marshall will reopen the doors of her training studio. Her clients will come. We will exercise. They will laugh. They will seem normal. And I too will seem normal with them, but inside, I will carry Michael's letters and Rebecca's dead essence. The doorbell rang. This time, it wasn't just the wind. Agent Chen had brought new instructions about the new protocol. There's a new threat, he said. Volkov's former partner. He wants you exposed. Perhaps you should leave the program. I never said this, but I realized something. I don't want to run away anymore. What could I run away from? Because I'm not just Helena. I'm not just Rebecca either. I'm someone who lives at the intersection of all these identities, all these lives, and perhaps that's the truest way to know myself. I'll stay. I told Agent Chen, no matter what. Okay, Agent Chen said, folding the ID card. Then you'll get ready. Maybe you can stay here without it. After he left, I locked the door. I burned Michael's letters, not all of them, just some of them, because maybe I didn't need to completely erase my past. Maybe remembering him was meant to be a part of my life. Tomorrow, the doorbell will ring. It always rings, but I'm not afraid of it anymore. Maybe it's not my problem because I'm still here. Maybe Helena Marshall is still by her side. Maybe Rebecca has finally found freedom. This story doesn't end with the revelation of what happened. Its true meaning is found in the awareness gained afterward. It's not surprising that within a system established over many years, some truths become invisible. People often trust the life they're used to, and this trust causes them to postpone questioning. This isn't a mistake, it's a natural consequence of being human. What happened doesn't give you the power to change the past. However, it offers an opportunity to build a more conscious future. What's lost may never come back, but the remaining time can be built on a stronger foundation. The most important step in this process is not to view what happened as a personal failure. Some situations are the result of good intentions being misused, and accepting this is part of the healing process. This story reminds us how important it is to ask questions and stay involved in the process. There's a delicate but vital difference between trusting and completely relinquishing control. Taking responsibility for your own life doesn't weaken relationships. On the contrary, it makes them healthier. Consciousness is about balance, not fear. Ultimately, what remains is not the destruction caused by what happened, but the strength that arises from it. This strength allows a person to rediscover themselves and give their life a new direction. Every ending, when viewed with awareness, opens the door to a new beginning. And this story was told precisely to remind us of this.